Hello and welcome to another episode of Viking Women's Basketball with Lynn Kennedy. The Vikings are home this Wednesday for a game against College of Idaho, stepping out of conference play. But let's go back the last couple weeks and talk about the improvements that you guys have shown. You know, Saturday games really showed the improvements. From against Montana State, you lose Thursday, you come back, win Saturday. Idaho State, the league leaders, you drop both games, but a marked improvement on Saturday for sure.
Yeah, I think, looking back, at least the last couple weeks, even the Sac State week, I think our improvement in the 2 days, the day in between and then game day, has been pretty big as far as having that turnaround for back-to-back games. It still comes down, we're only getting maybe 2, maybe 3 quarters in our wins, and in our losses, maybe getting 1 or 2 good quarters, and so we've got to change that. And we keep talking about practices and games, but it really is, and it's fine. I mean, that's what the season's about, but I think for us to get better as we get more towards March, that's the goal. And I even liked our improvement last week. I know the game Thursday night got away from us, really the last 6 minutes. It was still a 3-possession game with 6 minutes to go. It got kind of away from us a little bit, but I liked our improvement week to week, even the last month. I think that we've got to continue to make strides to get better towards March, and if we do that, hopefully the next couple weeks we'll see our best basketball going into February, and then, as we head into March, we just need to be playing our best basketball, and that's with practices and games. Hopefully it's going to come for us.
Well, and one area that's really improved recently is rebounding. Saturday was probably the best rebounding game of the season so far. You out-rebounded Idaho State, which came into the weekend leading the conference in rebounds. And then even Montana State, Thursday was kind of a tough rebounding game, but then you improved so much, you won Saturday. So what have you seen from that so far?
Yeah, it's been a point of emphasis all season. We've talked about that, and, we've talked about it going back to last spring, when we had our video Zoom calls together as a team, and it's different when you get in the games and actually see it happening, and we can actually go back and look at tape and see our rotations and our blockouts, and I think that's the improvement we've seen from Thursday to Saturday. Now we just need to be a little bit more consistent. I think, being able to go into practice and focus on it and then go into the games, see the improvement that we've made from the Thursday to Saturday games. Now we just need to get it from Thursday and Saturday, both games. And really, we talked about it after the game, post-game. It's just getting a complete game. We haven't had that yet. And I think usually you get that in December. You start to get one of those complete games. We haven't had that yet. So hopefully here in the next week or two, we can get that complete game, and that rebounding is a major part of our success.
And the freshmen have had also a pretty good run of play recently, and so I just wanted to ask about them and how they've improved. Against Thursday against Idaho State, it was Jenna, Morgan, and Nakia who staked you out to that first half lead. And then Nakia also came up big in the fourth quarter against Montana State. And Riley saw her most extensive action this past Saturday. So just talk about your freshmen.
I think it's just getting more time, as far as we talk about it's practices and games, whether it's practices or games, or the combination of both, but getting time in games and, kind of being battle tested against, Idaho State is a good lesson, and I think they stepped up Thursday night. Now it's, as we talked about with the entire team, it's consistency, every night, whether it's offense, the attacks, or being shot ready, or, just our motion, as far as when we cut and screen and all that, they've just got to be better. And then defensively, just stepping up. And, we talked a little bit about rebounding, but they're a big part of that, whether they're guards or posts. They've got to be able to rebound and be active and rotate and good closeouts. So I think as we get through the season, again, we talked about it before, but as we get towards March, we need to be playing our best basketball, and I think it helps, with the games that our freshmen get more experience and they have the minutes in the games that they need. And so I like to see that Thursday, now just a consistency from game to game.
And let's talk about this weekend. But before we focus really on the Yotes, let's just talk about adding the game. This will be one of a few non-conference that you're going to try to add. So what was the point of adding this game in particular and all these games, just to step out of conference, get more games, I would imagine?
I think, typically if you had a bye week, I think you use that to get healthy. You may take the whole week off. You may take a couple days off. So normally you probably would not have a game this week, and you would just use it as kind of getting healthy for that next week. But, I just felt like we're kind of going backwards, as far as our games and trying to add games and get our freshman experience, and College of Idaho is a good team and they're going to be competitive, and I think that's what we need. We need to continue to get better. Playing against yourselves, especially in February, can get old sometimes, and it's we haven't had a lot of practices, but the times you do, you just kind of need to see another team once in a while, and I think just going into this week, we want to add a game, and hopefully we can get maybe another game or another 2 games in here in the next few weeks, and that will allow us to play other opponents and really get ready for the Big Sky tournament in March. That's the whole goal.
All right, and let's talk specifically about College of Idaho now. They've scraped together a season since their conference hasn't played yet. 2 of those games have come against Big Sky schools in Eastern Washington and Montana, and they did well against Montana. They held them to like 31% shooting. Both were losses, but still, this is not just a pushover for sure.
No, and they play really aggressive, and against Eastern, they were a few possessions away from making that a really competitive game, and they played really tough the second half. They've got active players that can shoot the ball. They really can fire away, so we've got to be able to get a hand up and contest all the shots. And one thing I noticed is a really good passing team. I think against us and our defense, that can cause some problems. So we've got to be really good as far as defensive lock-in and be able to rotate, and I think keeping them off the glass and not allowing second chance points, I think that can get our fast break going and being able to get that attack going on the offensive end too as well. But they're going to be coming in. They're just trying to get a season in and get ready for their national tournament, and so I think it's a good experience for them and as well as for us to get that extra game in and continue to prepare for Montana next week.
All right, there it is. A reminder, it's a 6 p.m. tip this Wednesday. You can watch the game at Pluto TV channel 1051. Our thanks to Grady for doing all that work on the stream. For links to that and all other information, visit govikes.com.